is here, the A division. Only the best of the best can play here. It is Whalers against the Evil Empire. Welcome to the RSHL. Danny Wilson here again with Chuck Duzenski. So we got ourselves a matchup we didn't anticipate at the beginning of the season. Whalers against Evil Empire. Empire coming in as the #1 seed. What happened there? What made the turnaround?
I don't know. That's a surprise. Personally, I thought that the Benders were going to be the #1 team. They have the most snipers. Generally, they have the best goalie. But you know what? You don't play the games on paper, Daniel. You don't play the games on video, do you? You play the games on the court.
He got a little love tap there. So, with the Whalers, what's it going to take to beat the #1 seed?
You know, the Whalers are a good all-around team. I don't know that they have a weakness, but they've got to definitely keep an eye out for Tony Derubis. He's an outstanding goalie. He's a guy, though, that can occasionally give up a rebound, so they're going to have to clear the net in front of him.
And we'll get into our breakdown. We'll start with the Evil Empire. We want to keep an eye on Eric Hoffman, the points leader of the team, 20 points, and is in double digits on goals with 13. So watch him, and he is a deadly combination with Steven Jansen, nicknamed Boomer. And the strengths of this team, I like the communication. Listen for Greg Carlanti in the net. He'll yell out commands. It is hard to go anywhere in the building without hearing him.
No doubt.
And weakness, the thing I want to see, keep their emotions in check. There have been times where they can get to their head, so as long as they can keep their head together, they should be okay. For the Whalers, let's keep an eye on Justin Bibarito. 22 points, 11 goals, 11 assists, and all around the jack of all trades. The strengths of the team, and a standout player. And watch for the snipers of the team. They have a heavy attack. They have a total of 45 goals overall on the team. The weakness, like we said, we love Tony Derubis, but his numbers haven't been standing out lately, only holding an .846 save percentage. So we'll see if that's going to end up being a weakness for the team. Anything to add before we start?
I think one of the wild cards, especially for the Evil Empire, is that Gino Giangreco is playing today. Back in the day, before he had to hang out with his family more, now he's got kids, I mean, as all of us do. He was considered probably one of the best all-around players in the league, and he is, in fact, here tonight. Let's see if he can be the wild card in this game, Daniel.
And we're about to get started here. It's A division, the best of the best. It's coming up next.
Same referees for this game, Daniel, Brian, and Brian. Brian squared.
Yeah, it's Brian squared. Hooks and Lindley as the officials for A division. And they are definitely the ones to officiate this game as we are now underway. It was probably the most physical leagues. As that is sent up and recovered. If he can break through. No, he can't. It's back over to Rich. But it's going to head back over to Paul Pelka. And up the wing, unable to recover. Oh, he took a check there, and no call.
That was kind of a surprise there. He put Marino on his backside there. It could have been a lost check, I thought.
I certainly thought it was a check, but apparently the Bryants don't think so.
Not this early, at least.
And there is some more physical activity here. There's a shot. Oh, he missed the net. He lost his stick there. Already the physical dominance.
Wow.
Just showing up. Here's Rich with a shot. Save by Derubis. And they'll clear it out, and I don't think this will be an icing as that will reach Arlanti. And both teams going for a full change. And up they go again, but he decides to dump the Giacomo.
What a difference in the speed of the game versus the B division that we just watched. What do you think, Daniel?
Well, this is definitely a more physical version of the B division. Here's Reich. Shot, and he was intending for Hoffman. Here's a shot by Kelly, and that missed wide. Ryan Reich again on the half-end boards, taking a look now, sends it back to Kelly. Kelly winding up, and that got blocked on the way, and here come the Whalers. And that got tapped away. The Whalers have to hold on and attempting to clear, and they managed to. Hoffman holding on, now we'll send it back.
Greco there.
Dan Greco.
Gino with the shot, watch out.
And a save by DeRubis, and he'll just hold on there.
Gino starting out on defense. That's one of the things that the Evil Empire has always liked to do. They like to let Gino try to control the game from the back line. If they get behind in this game, or if it gets late in the game and they need a goal, look for Gino to play at that forward line, possibly even as center.
Now to draw Whalers win this face-off. And head in behind the net. Now to send it over to Pelka. Pelka with Reich looming over. Now decides to send it around the boards. And up it goes over to Viverito, the points leader of the team. Now we'll race it down. Kelly trying to get in position. Tries a poke check. Fight through. Save by Parlanti.
What a save.
Body up, body up.
And there's Behrman a shot. And another save by Parlanti. And he'll hold on.
That Justin Viverito has got a ton of speed. He literally ran right by the defender there and made his own shot.
Is it any wonder that he has 20-plus points in the season?
None whatsoever.
What's up, boys?
Adam Behrman on the draw against Boomer Jansen. Jansen wins.
And they'll attempt to clear, knocked away. And moving in. That was a great job.
Boomer, my fault. That's offsides.
Yeah, it overstepped the red line, and it's going to come back.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, it's hard to know who some of these Evil Empire guys are because they don't list their numbers on the website. I thought 16 was Boomer Jansen. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Boomer's the number 32, if I'm right. And now taking it behind his own net. Now has to race down and taken down. And here they come again. That is Boomer Jansen in a race with DiGiacomo. Jansen wins the race. And DiGiacomo went down, took a slip, I think. And DeRubis has it. He thought it was behind him, but it's in his pad.
Oh, right here.
That'll help a little bit.
And back to the point. Shot.
Kelly.
And that is a save by DeRubis.
Now Cassidy in the corner there.
Yeah, Cassidy taking it towards the slot, button hooks, backhand goes wide. And DiGiacomo attempts to clear and kept in by Gian Greco. And a save by DeRubis.
Sean trying to turn there. Boomer Jansen in the corner now, Daniel.
Jansen send it back to the point, shot by Cassidy and wide. And now the Whalers will start again on the attack. Connecting it to...
Possible here.
Oh, a try to connect over to Viverito. And now sends it back, but that was a wayward pass. And DiGiacomo has to go back to retrieve.
That was a great play by Boomer Jansen getting back on that 2-on-1. He's the one who deflected the pass into the corner.
So far, it has been a game of physics. They're now trying to bang through and can't find his way, and he'll try to send it backwards and now recover his own pass. Now taking it behind the net, looking for a wraparound. Didn't get all the way through as it went off the stick of Parlanti, and now a race between Frost and Rich. And they're calling for a too many men penalty, but no.
Too many men. I thought it hit their player that was going to the bench while they had 6 players on.
They were in the middle of a change.
Played by Ryan Riker. Here comes Mike.
2-on-1. Here they come. Holding on. Now passes. Shot. Oh, sliding save by Parlanti. Oh, boy. And he has it. But also thank the defense for giving him some support.
Wow. I almost felt like Mike Cassetta had a better chance shooting there than trying to pass.
I was trying to lift it, but not that much.
And Doolittle wins that face-off, but immediately heads over to Hoffman. But Pelka is going to beat him to it. Pelka sending over to Viverito, intended for him, but instead it's going to go to Cassidy and sends it across over to Giangreco behind the net. And now looming over is Jaron Chernoff. Boomer Jansen will take it on the wing.
Look at that move. Boy, that guy's good.
Yeah, very agile, but that shot went way wide.
Just a bit outside.
And Jansen sent it back to the point. Here's a shot by Kelly and a save by DeRubis.
Nice save by Tony DeRubis there. Good end-to-end action by both teams here. I don't particularly think that either team has carried it more than the other. It's been good end-to-end action by both teams.
Off the draw, and it's going to be the Whalers with control here. And he coming in with speed is Viverito. Shot just wide, and Parlanti making a smart move. Oh boy, this is reminiscent of what happened a couple months ago. If you remember, with his game against the Tropical Depression with Jason Nelson, he took a slash, and that was not a good ending, and that was very reminiscent, but luckily, cooler heads prevailed.
Parlanti did that on purpose. He was trying to give Viverito a little something to think about there. I could see him smiling behind the mask. Viverito was not fooled by that. He didn't rise to the bait.
He was trying to stand up by himself though, but here's Boomer Jansen coming in and crashes into the Rubis, but no call, and he's still down. Now he's up. A huge collision with the Rubis.
Sure was.
Jansen holding on, now sends it across. Looking for a shot from Barino. It heads to the line. It's still in off the scorekeeper's table and sliding across. But it's going to head back into their own zone.
It's an offside there. They missed that. That hit Vandewater in the zone. That should have been an offside. The play continues there.
Shot and a save by Parlanti. Oh, look out here. Right. As I said earlier, got to keep their emotions in check.
It's definitely game on. Parlanti is not opposed to pushing, sticking, checking, doing anything he can to try to get under the opposing player's skin. Let's see how that develops going forward, Daniel.
Well, he has had a history of having a short fuse. And now the Whalers win this face-off. Score!
Behrman on the face-off win to Paul Peterson with a rocket just under the crossbar.
Let's go, Doc.
Can't draw it up any better than that.
Off the draw, Whalers win this face-off. We'll play it off the board as the number 2 seed team takes the 1-0 lead. And now a battle as it will be sent back into the Empire zone. Now sends it up to Cassidy. We'll take it to the outside. It went off a stick and out of play, but this should stay inside the Whaler zone.
I think you're right. Right at the top of the circle, they're going to call it.
Come on, boy.
And a little toss up there. Quick shot, but that's blocked. And now still a toss up there. Shot saved by DeRubis. And tries to send one in the slot, but it's going to be over to Mike Rich, trying to fight off Pelka in the corner. Still in the air for possession, but looks like the Whalers are going to take control here. 2-1-2, make that 3-on-2. And a little tie-up with Mike Cassetta. Cassetta headed back, does a stick lift, and now looking for some physical presence there. Shot saved by Parlanti. A little indecision there as it's going behind the net.
Couldn't control it there.
And they'll tie up on the boards. Still in the air for possession as they move in. And so back to Frost, went off a stick.
Nice block by Vandewater there with the stick.
And was trying to look for a deflection, but it's going to be taken away by Mike Rich. But again, double team. And moving in was Hoffman as he was seeing Rich in trouble. Across they go. And moving in, gotta watch Frost there. And now tries a shot. Oh boy, he had a chance there, but DeRubis moving in and making the save.
Outstanding pass there and a good save by DeRubi.
As we had mentioned earlier, Berubis hasn't had the best of seasons, but he has been holding his ground here in the first. As Reich wins this face-off. Reich still holding on, trying to fight off some defense, and now end up in the hands of Boomer Jansen. Shot, and that hit a stick. He was looking for a deflection there. The Whalers wanted a high stick, but he was not intending to play it.
Offside's waved off here,
and he's deciding to play. That's a dangerous move there. As they're looking for a shot, moving back, but here's a 2-on-2 the other way. Hoffman on the right end boards, but knocked away, and they have to reset. But that was a very dangerous move by Parlanti playing behind his net. Here is Hoffman on the right end boards, sends it over to Reich, poked away by Pelka. And here's Viverito, 2-on-1. Sends it across back to Viverito, but the shot goes wide. Back over to Frost. Now back in the slot. Shot blocked by Bill Kelly. And that's going to be Boomer Jansen, 2-on-2. If he can get moving, but instead he's going to hold back and wait for his team to organize and make a change. John Greco holding on at the line. Now sends it up to Hoffman, moving over to Giacomo. And couldn't get any control on that ball as it'll be sent out of the zone. A little chip to buy some time for the Empire as we are approaching 1 minute remaining in the first period. And now a bad pass that ends up in the hands of Frost. And now sends it up towards Viverito, a very dangerous shooter, trying to clear out of the zone as he got tied up there behind the play. And now Reich with a shot and a save. It has been a game of physics. As we are now approaching 30 seconds in the first period, Whalers holding a 1-0 lead, but it has been all cylinders for both sides. And someone had jumped the gun, but play is going to continue anyway. As they attempt to clear and a failed keep in. And he's going to have to race it down because here he comes, but Parlanti decides to cover. We'll see if there's any more time for a face-off. But at the rate they're going, I doubt that's going to happen. 5 seconds. If they can get a quick one going, it's off a tie-up, and I think that's going to do it. Yep, that will be it for the first, a very physical first period. So after that, the Whalers with a 1-0 lead. We're just about set in the second period. 1-0 lead for the second seed Whalers. But it's been a very physical game, very tight on both sides, so it can change in an instant. And off we go again as the Empire win this face-off, and it's going to go over to Jansen. And looking for a pass and sends it over to Sean Cassidy. And now a bad pass as it'll end up on the boards, and he'll recover his own pass. Saved by Adarulis. And back over to Kelly with a shot, and that goes wide. Jansen recovers, looking for another one. Off the post!
Wow.
Into the corner as the Empire were just centimeters away from getting on the board. Off the netting, and it will go out of play.
It's going to be off a green. That face-off will be down in the offensive zone for the Evil Empire. Come on, Mark. I'm looking for a chance to work in, and you got to do something.
Off the draw, Reich wins it. Shot, and it's a block. That went off the leg of Ryan Dulu. And now attempted recovery by Steve Marino. And moving in was Vanderwater, but taken away. And now sent back in. Pelka off the boards and overshot his man. And it will be Steve Marino again. Sends over to Vanderwater, poked away. And here comes the Whalers shot, save by Parlanti.
I almost thought that Viverito had a better chance at that play that Paul Peterson kept in, and he kind of deferred to Ryan Doolittle there. Ryan Doolittle, I didn't think, had as good a look at the net.
And now holding on is Marino, sending it around the boards. over to Hoffman, gets double teamed and recovered by the Whalers and off the ceiling, and they're going to keep this inside the attacking zone.
Hoffman with a nice stick check there.
With 2 minutes gone in the second period, rather, as the Empire are getting back on the attack. Viverito taking a shot, went off of somebody, off the safety netting, and here come the Empire. If they can get around Pelka, it's Hoffman, sends it across over to Vandewater. He has speed, overshot it a bit. He was looking for a one-timer, and it's going to go back over to Mike Rich outside the zone. And now sending it up to Hoffman, waiting for Vandewater to tag up. He does. Vandewater holding on, outside chip in, just a little wide of DeRubis. Here's Pal Pelka. Elbow over to Viverito, developing a 3-on-2, connecting, and a stick check by Rich, and he has to hold up on the shot. Now taking it behind the net is Kyle Both. And Parlanti decides to cover that up. And that is won by the Empire. Still trying to keep control now, sends it across to Boomer Jansen. Sends it back to Cassidy. Went off the stick of Mike Cassetta. Back of the point, stick checked away. Here's a chance by Chernoff. And score!
Move that was.
Darren Chernoff makes it 2-0.
Chernoff steals the pass, the potential pass from point to point there, goes in all his own and makes an outstanding toe drag. Parlanti had no chance there.
That is a classic move, going up one-on-one with the goaltender.
Let's up, Greg, let's go!
And off the draw here, Chernoff again, getting poke checked by Gian Greco. Into the corner. Now sends it around. Intended that for Mike Cassetta. And it gets tied up along with Bill Kelly. Has to hold up behind the net. Chernoff calling for it. He gets it. Shot goes wide. Adam Behrman on the corner. And an easy save for Parlanti. Gian Greco sends it up to Jensen as they have to get going here. And now went off a couple of feet. Here's Cassidy. And intended that for the slot, but it's going to be tied up on the boards. Physical activity with Kevin Frost. And now up in the slot, if they can clear it out, and it's going to be an icing against the Whalers.
Evil Empire seem to be losing every 50-50 battle here, especially in the second period, this first half of the second period. They need a spark from somebody. It's almost like they're flat-footed. It's almost like they get into the zone, and then they come to a certain point. Guys are cutting, but yet the player isn't able to make that pass.
And it's Reich again on the face-off, and that's going to be sent across over to Viverito. And I don't think he's had a point tonight. He's looking for one here as he goes down. No call from the officials.
No call, wow.
And Rich is going to take it away. He'll backhand it across over to Vandewater. And he'll try to swat it away, but it's still inside his own zone. He sends it back to Reich. Reich holding on as he waits for his team to reset. Makes a move around.
Wow.
Splitting the forwards. Now sends it back to Vandewater at the point. Intended that for Hoffman. A little too much on the pass. As they will move best past us. It's Mike Rich. And that's going to be an opportunity here. Shot off a pad. Score!
Wow. Another bad defensive turnover by the Evil Empire there. Viverito goes in on his own, gets it through the 5-hole, but without enough to get into the net, goes behind Parlanti and finishes the job.
Get the ball deep. If your guys cut your lane off, put it up the board.
The Empire are just getting unorganized now.
Wow.
They're gonna have to have someone step up.
No more through the middle. Just keep getting deep.
And faking a shot, now sends it across over to Vanderwater on the opposite side. Now look for a shot wide of DeRubis and taken away. And now we'll chip it up on the opposite side, intended for Cassetta, as he'll take a bump from Steve Marino into the corner. Cassetta held up, and now a battle between him and Marino. Chernoff is back to Chernoff again, but moving in is Vanderwater, trying to clear it up to Reich. Reich, he's got a chance here if he can move past the D. And, oh, that was poke checked over to DeRubis, and he'll cover.
The ball somehow came on of Eric Hoffman's stick, and he wristed it on net. Tony DeRubis made a save.
Hey, G, come on. Hey, when I call for it, I thought you were with it.
As we are past 7.5 minutes, and we're at the 6:30 mark. And it's going to be back over to Rich, looking for a shot, went off the body. Boomer Jansen on the board, sends it over to the slot, and a shot gets blocked.
It's Pelka in the back of the leg.
Yeah, Pelka has been stepping up on blocking. And now into the opposite end. Now try to send it to Jansen, gets tied up with Pelka. And outside the slot. And it's just wide of the net. And pokes it over. Shot blocked by Rich. Jansen trying to shake him off. Someone has got to step up.
It's an onslaught from the Whalers, isn't it, Daniel?
Yeah, they have been losing steam in the second period. I don't know where all that energy has gone, as he'll take it around the net, holding on, now takes a shot and hit the post.
Wow.
And now Jansen trying to poke it away, get something going here. And now they will just chip it out. And now it's a race between Jansen and Pelka as it hits the boards. And now moving in is Carey. And now behind the net, holding on, sends it back to Pelka. He'll play it off the boards. And it's going to be over to Kyle Both. Both with a shot and a glove save.
Big save there by Parlanti.
That was a rocket of a shot by Kyle Both. And now on the left wing, here's Hoffman, holding on. Looks for an option. He's got several. Shot saved by DeRubis, and he'll cover. 4:30 remaining in the second period.
It's been mostly one and done on these shots for the Evil Empire. Almost there. It's not like they're getting any rebounds at all. Evil Empire needed to get a fifth player out there.
Yeah, they can't waste any time here. And it'll go over to Bill Kelly on the opposite end. Looks for a shot. Saved by DeRubis. He was screened on that play.
Let's not forget to give a shout out to Bill Kelly, who most recently moved to the Philadelphia area and flew back into Raleigh just to be able to play in the B and the A Division Championship games. Kudos to you, Bill Kelly.
As DeJoglo attempts to clear, unable, is sent back, and it's going to go out of play. And this one is coming back. Behrman will take this face-off against Ryan Reich. And Reich will win this face-off for the Empire. Pretty much any battle they could win is going to be a step in the right direction, as Hoffman is going to try to send it out, swatted away by Pelka.
What a nice play that was. Literally bunting the ball out of midair.
It was not just a bunt, he just swatted it. That was a baseball swing.
Actually, that was a hit and run play, wasn't it?
And now someone lost their stick as Reich.
That was Behrman. Right stick checked it away from him.
Kelly trying to get something moving here, but it's going to come back over to Gian Greco, and the Empire forced again to restart. Hoffman sending it across over to Vanderwater as we approach the 2.5 minute mark in the second. Trying to move past Pelka. He can't get through. and it's going to be sent out of the zone, and an icing.
Yeah.
They're calling icing on this play. It's coming back.
Good job by referee Brian Hooks looking over at Lindley, trying to determine if that was in fact below the circles. It definitely was. Good job by the referees there.
Hey, we get one dude. Call that as I try to chip it in. You know what I mean?
Empire win this draw. Shot saved by Derubis, and that's swatted again by Pelka. Shot. Score from the point. It's Bill Kelly. We were just talking about him, and he ends up scoring the first for the Empire.
Wow, that's a big goal too, with under 2 minutes left in the second period. Evil Empire definitely needed a spark. I guess all we had to do was mention Bill Kelly, huh? It was a huge shot. There was definitely some and played back into action here, and Derubis wasn't ready. He actually had his stick on top of the net there at the puck drop.
And now a little race for it. It's knocked away as they'll head into the opposite corner as we approach the 1 minute mark. Attempted clear, went off a stick, but it will get to Justin Carey.
Bad luck, that ball got up in the netting.
Yeah, that really slows down the trajectory. That's one of the factors of being in this rink. As we are now at the 1 minute mark, as Rich is going to try to follow up on that goal from Bill Kelly. Carey sends it across over to Jansen. Shot went off the leg and out to recover. And up it goes over to Doolittle, getting tied up with Carey, and now taken away by Jensen. And
stick check by Paul Peterson there, nice play.
And back it goes into their own zone as the Whalers decide to make a change now.
Boomer Jansen with a little stick play there.
And now he's got to watch out here as he is checked from behind. And here is Kevin Frost. 22 seconds remaining. Shot just wide. And here they come again.
Overran the ball there, didn't he?
And they're going to try again. Sure enough, tries to connect to Viverito, and poke checked away by Jansen. Here is Chernoff. Stick save by Parlanti. 3 seconds remaining, and this will do it for the second period. So we have a little bigger deficit, but it's still a close game. 3-1 for the second seed Whalers. We are ready for third period, and during the break, Parlanti just giving it to his team, telling them they need to step up on the defense.
Yeah, definitely one of the things that you talked about in the pregame, Daniel, is that Parlanti is not afraid, whether it's during the game or whether it's between periods, to tell his team what he thinks they need to do.
And here's a chance here, but he can't connect on the pass as he was driven off the ball. Back over to Kelly. He has the only goal for the Empire. Shot went off a leg. And he'll head over to the opposite end where it's Hoffman. Over to Reich, shot, and a pad save. Vandewater, a little tie up with Kevin Frost, trying to shake him off. And now taken down. And it's up in the netting.
Standing right there, and he declined to call it.
Yeah, he's a no-nonsense official.
Referees are definitely letting the players play this game.
And that's a high stick. He's going to get called for that.
I thought so too. Maybe not where he actually played it, but that stick, the blade of the stick, I thought was over the head there at first.
It's going to be Kyle Both, 2 minutes, high sticking.
Well, here's a great opportunity. Great opportunity for the Evil Empire to get closer. One of the things that we talked about in the break is I'm looking to see when Gino Giangreco is going to try to impose his will on this game, when he's going to try and step forward and do something special.
You see him playing on the defensive side. We'll see if he switches roles and tries to become an offensive defenseman. And he would fake the shot there, but instead pass it over to Jansen. Jansen holding on.
He needs to come out to the top. Jansen needs to circle around to the top here.
Takes a shot, that misses wide. Kelly moving to the boards. Takes a look, now sends it back to Giangreco.
Move in and shoot, Gino. Move in and shoot.
Shot, it went off his stick, and that nearly got through.
That was off Viverito. He blocked that, I think, Daniel.
Back over to Giangreco at the point. Shot, just wide. Here's Carey, blocked by Pelka. Over on the boards, back to Jan Greco. He's been the guy that they've been going to quite a lot. I wonder if their strategy is going to become predictable. Over to Jansen on the opposite end. Takes a shot, just goes wide. Over to Mike Rich on the opposite corner. Back over to Gian Greco. And he decides to go for Rich again. Here's a close-up shot saved by Derubis. He can't cover it up. And a tie-up between Pelka and try to see who the other guy is.
Back to Gino here.
Yep, it's back to Gino again. Sends it across. Shot by Kelly. That goes wide. They got to get some more accurate shots here. They keep setting up the plays, but they got to finish it. They got to get those shots on the net. Here's Vanderwater. Pass it back to Wright with 25 seconds left on the penalty. Takes a shot, and that one curved a little bit, but he makes the finish. Shot by Wright, saved by DeRuis. Wow. Chernoff looking for it. Tries to clear, went off his stick, but he will do his job. And now here they come short-handed. Here he comes. Parlanti makes the right move and cover it up. And this will kill the remainder of the penalty, but both has to stay in the box until the next drop.
Definitely some outstanding sustained pressure by the Evil Empire there. I was surprised that Wright didn't score on that late chance there in front of the net.
They gotta win every battle they have here. Here's a shot by Frost, then a stick save. They clear, and here's a chance by Vanderwater if he can get it through. Shot, oh, it's right there, on the outside of the post, and he covers it up. It was flying on the line.
Up over Derubis, hit the post. Vanderwater kind of overran it. Derubis was able to get back and cover it. Wow. We might look back on that one and have that be the game changer.
As it heads into the corner. That was almost a one-goal game. As he's racing through, decides to go behind the net, looking for an option. Decides to hold up, taking himself outside slot. Now back to Behrman. Shot went off the leg of Marino. And a bad pass here. Shot off the post.
Wow. Kevin Frost with a shot off the turnover there.
Now taking a bump.
Comes another chance. Behrman.
Shot by Behrman, wide of the net. As Parlanti with a desperation move. As now the Empire are just desperate. Here's that 2-on-1.
Developing.
Hoffman, shot. Oh, that may have hit someone on the way. And it's Reich and DiGiacomo in the corner. Decides to return pass. A stick goes flying behind. Still no call here. Here's Reich. Decides to go by net. Pass it back. Oh, I don't know what.
Why didn't Greco trying to go backhand to forehand? Lost the ball there.
And they decided to go for a change here. Gian Greco had a chance there, but decided on a backhand pass that just went wary. And now here's a pass that will end up being an icing against the Empire.
Yeah, Gino was trying to make the quick move coming from right to left there. Tried to go backhand to forehand. I don't know whether he got stick checked or he just kind of moved a little faster than he wanted to, but couldn't control it on forehand for the shot.
And off the draw is the Empire with control, as he'll try to send it up to Boomer Jansen going up against Pelka. Takes the shot, blocked by Pelka. He has been blocking shots quite a lot this game. Right, and off the feet of Carey and the Rubis with a cover-up.
No shortage of chances here in the last couple minutes for the Evil Empire, eh, Daniel?
They've hit metal, they had one lie on the line. This win, are they going to finish that job? Here's a shot here, getting tied up there. And here they come again, one-on-one. It's Viverito, shot, and it went off the stick of Kelly.
Nice play by Bill Kelly there.
Doolittle, send back, shot, went off the back leg of Gian Greco. That is going to be painful. Is that
not kidding about that?
Just that unpadded part as that one will go out of play. As we're at 7.5 remaining.
Yeah, I'm gonna, if I get a breakaway like that, there's no way Tony's gonna be in the chair. I've had 2 steps, but the goal came out because it was too far in front of me, and at the same time I had nothing to do with it. I mean, I think it's in front of the net the way he coached it.
And Kerry wins that draw and sent in by Cassidy. And now Giacomo trying to clear, unable. Kerry over to Jansen. Jansen taking a look. Now sends it over. And Kamoshi with a shot. And
nice sliding play there by Kamoshi.
Well, he was lucky that he didn't get called for sliding.
Yeah, he didn't get into anybody. You're right, Daniel, though. That could easily been a slide penalty. Look at this in front. Behrman with the stick underneath the shoulder there.
And that shot went high. They're going to reset here. Decides to go behind the net, but there's nobody there to retrieve it. And on the corner is Cassidy as his stick got lifted. Tried to send it to slide, can't connect on the pass. And what was the defense doing there? There's nobody out there, but luckily it's an icing.
Smart play by Parlanti there, was going to come out and play that because that was going to be a breakaway for the Whalers, and then Parlanti looked over and saw that Brian Hook, referee, had his arm up and declined to play it so that way they could get the face-off in the offensive zone.
Well, we had mentioned that the defense had been struggling, but that time it looked like they were just standing there as the ball was coming back. But here's a chance here. Shot saved by DeRubis. And now another chance, another save. And here they come the other way, one-on-one. He'll chip it in. It's a race between Chernoff and Kelly. Kelly will win this race, send it around the boards. Whalers still have possession. Rich moving in, gives him a bump.
Someone get high.
On the opposite end. Now holding on, and it's getting held up by John Greco. Behind the net again, Kelly attempting to clear over to Rich. And now 2-on-2 the other way. Attempt to center it up. Over to Hoffman, goes to the boards, takes a look, tries to center it. Oh, he intended that one for Rich, but it hit a Whaler stick.
Wright keeps it alive though.
Now holding on, takes a shot and a save by DeRubis with 5 minutes remaining in the third.
Evil Empire has definitely activated its defense here in the last couple minutes. That's why they've gotten more pressure, Daniel. But then, as you mentioned a couple times, they've been caught going forward. One of two things is going to happen here. Either Evil Empire is going to score that goal.
Yeah, there it is! You just said it, you called it, and there it is! Empire within one!
I think that was Gino Giangreco off of that face-off one. Yeah, it was going to be one thing or the other here. We had talked about how Evil Empire was activating their defense, and we wondered what was going to happen. Were they going to score, or was it going to be the Whalers with the breakaway going the other way, or the odd man advantage? I guess we got our answer, at least for now.
And Jansen trying to get something started again, and waiting. He was probably looking at Vanderweer, and a great sliding play, but it's going to be a breakaway, but Parlanti is going to get there first, and he decides to cover before Viverito can do anything.
Just in case of that happens.
Once again, Parlanti controlling the game from the goal line.
And that is about the second or third time that has happened when there was a potential breakaway, but Parlanti has to make a cover-up. And back it goes, and intended that for Vanderwater. And he'll chip it, and he'll race down to Giacomo into the corner. Still battle for possession. Vanderwater has it. Tries to send it back, but it gets checked away. Behind the net. Jansen taking a look. Backhands it, blocked.
Who got it?
Back in the corner again. Tries the centering pass, and it goes to the opposite corner. Here's Vanderwater behind the net over to Jansen. Jansen taking a look at options as there's a couple of defensemen moving over. Decides to go back to the point. Now he decides to go around the boards. Intended that for Vanderwater. That is cleared out by DiGiacomo. Kept in. Jansen looking for something here. Kamoshi with a shot here. Blocker save. 3 minutes remaining. We're on a stop clock for the remainder of this period. And here they come again. The Whalers decide to chip in. Marino moving in. This game is not over yet. Marino along with DiGiacomo. Now moving in. Shot. That goes wide. And Hoffman decides to chip it up. And now here's a race here. Takes a bump. Doolittle's going to get there, decides to send it around over on the boards. And a good keep in by Dion Greco. But taken away by the Whalers, 2-on-2. and passes over to Viverito. Into the corner, Bill Kelly trying to move in. He's going to have to get some discipline here. You cannot afford to take a penalty at this point in the game.
That was close to a penalty there by Kelly.
Viverito still holding on, killing some time. Now sends it across, intended for Pelka. He does retrieve it. Now backhands it around.
Nice job just sending it back down behind.
Kyle Both with a shot, and that went off his stick. And it's going to be Gian Greco for the Empire. Mike Rich, stick checked away by Pelka. Doolittle with a shot easily taken away, and it went off a foot. Went off the foot of Justin Carey. And Mike Rich holding on now. And now attempts to send it up, kept in by Pelka off the safety net. The Empire wanted an offside call, but he was definitely on the line. And now Gian Greco again backhands it up to Carey with less than 90 ticks remaining in regulation. Shot goes to the outside net, back over to Vanderwater.
Goalie pulled.
The goalie is pulled, and the Whalers trying to hold on to a 1-goal lead, taking a bump, and it's going to go back over to Jansen, sends over to Rich, sends one shot, saved by Derubis. Oh, what a close save! And we got some physical activity here. Some emotions were flaring there, but Derubis with an unbelievable glove save.
2 fabulous saves there on that play. And then, of course, all the players come together after he makes that save. Looks like there's going to be a timeout here for Evil Empire, I believe.
And I think that's exactly what's going on here, as they're going to have to take some time to cool down here and think about the next move. But they were very close to tying this game up.
Wow. I thought it was in myself.
And you could see that emotions were flaring there, but you got to keep them in check. You cannot afford to take a penalty here. The clock has been reset to 1 minute and 2.
I'm looking for a Reich possibly to win it to Gian Greco here for the one-timer.
Well, he is settled outside the slot.
Here he comes. He's coming over behind him.
As you can see, the Empire with 6 men on the floor. Whalers win this face-off. DiGiacomo trying to clear it around the boards. Now it's a race there. And Viverito just misses the empty net. And now he's going to have to make a move here. Sure enough, trying to close it out as we are now at 45 seconds here. Jansen holding on. Some physical activity. Now tries to clear it out. Locked down. Trying to keep the play alive. Taken away by the Whalers. Sends it out just outside the net.
30 seconds.
The clock continues to run. Gian Greco sends it around to Jansen. And up to Reich. He's got a chance here. Over to Jansen. And try to return pass to Reich, but taken away. Back at a point to Kelly. He's got one.
Viverito clears the zone. 10 seconds left in the game.
He's going to have to hurry here. 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be Reich if he can get across here. 3 seconds. And the Whalers here are going to win this one. And we got a scuffle in front of the net. But the Whalers, the number 2 seeds, win the Carolina Cup.
Great last minute of play there, Daniel.
Emotions had flared in front of the bench, but it didn't matter now as the Whalers come in as the number 2 seeds and out the A Division champions. And we can pretty much give credit to Tony Derubis.
Yes.
If it hadn't been for that outstanding glove save.
A couple 3 guys I'd like to mention here, Daniel, that won championships tonight in both the B and the A division. Paul Peterson is the one right out front there in the handshake line. I know Kevin Frost was another one. Tony DiGiacomo was the 3rd player, I think, that was on both the Lock Monsters and the Whalers tonight. Congratulations to all 3 of them for being dual cup champions this year.
Final shots on goal, 26-19 in favor of the Empire, but that didn't really end up being the difference maker in the end. But now it is Time for the Whalers to once again claim the Carolina Cup, something they haven't had in several seasons.
Yeah. Maybe it's Tony for the post-game interview. Hey, Tony. After you're done celebrating, a minute for post-game interview.
Woo! Where are we looking? Wherever. That way. Jeez.
You want a couple pictures? Sit down. Hold on just a second, guys. These are the ones that are going to be on the website. So.
The Whalers coming out with a 3-2 victory and the Carolina Cup along with it. We'll go into the off season much deserved champions. We'll be back with the wrap up.
I'm making sure I get the scoreboard in there.
Tony DeRubis, which I am going to name the first start of the game because of that last save at the end, the glove save that kept this a one-goal game. Was that desperation or what?
No, I didn't really see it all the way. But better to be lucky than good some days, right?
That's great.
Yeah, we had talked at the beginning, not the best of seasons, but ended up coming through it again as number 2 seeds. What was going through your mind knowing that you're up against some of the best shooters?
Just trying to make sure my defense had them cleared out of the way so I could see it and throw myself in front of it.
So you haven't had the cup held in about several seasons now. So, and you didn't expect to win it against the Evil Empire, did you?
Well, it was. I knew it would be a good game, close scoring probably, but I had confidence we'd come through in the end.
Nice job, Tony. Just one question for you. Your day with the cup will be coming up shortly. Any plans for what you're going to be doing that day?
Hopefully my day, there'll be a beer festival somewhere. I can take a tour.
I hope we get an invitation to that.
Yeah, perhaps we can waggle an invitation. Maybe
Perhaps,
we could talk to your boss.
Sure.
I won't mention her name on the telecast. She'll be ticked off I did.
Now, of course, the viewers will know this after we put this video up, but tonight, Penguins and Sharks, Game 6, who wins?
I'm going to say Sharks. I mean, most miraculous comeback in Stanley Cup history.
we'll see what happens. Everyone.
Not a Penguins fan?
Not really.
It's okay to say it.
No, I'm not. Everyone's already going to know by the time we put this up, but good to have your input. Great job. Congratulations on the
Congratulations, Tony. You earned it, buddy. Great.
All right, just off top.
It would be great with Stanley Cup. It's Carolina Cup here. I was about to say Stanley Cup.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday,
Just
yeah.
don't touch it if you ever come here.
Well, so that'll do it for A Division. So we will go into the summer season. We'll have draft A, B, and C. But up next will be the Iron Man tournament. We'll be here for that. But until then, we'll see you guys next time around.
Congratulations to you, Daniel Wilson, and thank you for everything you do for the RSHL.
Thank you. The RSHL is supported by AllBlackHockeySticks.com. The stick of choice for many players of the RSHL is a very light and durable stick for only $89. AllBlackHockeySticks.com.